general public's perception, if indeed that is your perception, of our perception of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a sad thing, actually. It has happened over time. And because people have drifted away from the true teachings of Islam, true teachings of this holy book, of Holy Quran, and they haven't studied the life of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings of God be upon him. The Holy Prophet believed, he very much asserted the principles, to the fundamental values of loyalty, freedom, equality, respect, and honesty. And if we assert on these values, we have to adopt them. And if we act on them, we can never be extremists. And if people go into the history of Islam, any wars fought at the time of the Holy Prophet were all defensive. They were not offensive. Now people, they misinterpret Islam and do not read it into its context. They just take out things out of context and, try their own interpretations. And we believe the coming of Messiah, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, he was the promised Messiah. His aim was to bring people back to the true and the peaceful teachings of Islam. Because obviously Muslims have been divided into different groups, and they have drifted away from the true teachings of Islam. So his purpose, his initiation was to basically tell people that what are the true teachings of Islam.
It's fascinating that we should have that polarized view away from the reality that you've just described for us this afternoon, and the popularist view of what the Muslim community through Islam is all about. And clearly that's the wrong position that the majority of people have taken. In case anybody thinks that the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association is something that is exclusively foreign to these shores, that's not the case at all. I mean, the organisation has been doing fundraising here in the UK for organisations in the UK for a long, long time. It's been putting something in, not taking something out.
Yeah, certainly. We recently raised about $500,000 for Queen's Charity at the Golden Jubilee event. It was a very successful event when we organized a charity walk, and we have also been raising funds annually on the charity walks for our UK-based charities like Heart Foundation, Great Ormond Street, Children in Need. We raised millions of pounds because we believe as a true and a patriotic British citizen, which is obviously a requirement even from Islamic perspective, because Islam says you have to be loyal to the country you live in. And we are very grateful to the UK, to this nation, that we have no problem exercising any or practicing of religion in a peaceful way.
We say that we are a multi-ethnic society. Clearly, that we are a multi-ethnic society. How do you feel about the reception of the Muslim community and Islam from the wider aspects of the British? How do you feel as though the perception of people should be managed and needs to be managed?
I think British people are very tolerant and they are very wise. I'm talking about majority. There is always some minority.
Of course, yes.
I believe British people are very, very tolerant, and obviously this country is a multicultural, multi-faith. I mean, there are people from all different faiths and religions living in harmony together, and none of them have any restrictions upon practicing how they want to practice. So I think that's a fundamental right in Islam. That's what Islam says as well, that everybody has a right to choose his religion, to choose the way of life he wants. And Islam says, the Holy Prophet said, there is no compulsion in religion. So obviously, with that respect, I mean, I think the British people are very well. Unfortunately, some of the minority people from Muslims, from within the Muslims, they have adopted a very terrorist-minded approach, very narrow-minded approach, and unfortunately they have drifted away from the true teachings, and that's why they are bringing bad name to this. So our purpose is to continue to try and tell people, look, what Islam means, which is peace.
So are you saying in that case, Naveed, that the central issue, which is actually wrongly informing the wider aspects of our perception of Islam and indeed the Muslim community, is actually from within the Muslim and Islamic community in its own sense. So the solution, the healing, if you like, needs to come from within rather than from without.
I think it's both, actually. I must say that. But obviously, people who don't know anything about religion, but if they see a person who is a Muslim and, if